Coach Cam made this shit.
I'm Brenden Kron. This is Rex, and welcome to Jammin with Kron Rex. Did you know?
This one I want you to guess. Do you know who the number one manufacturer of tires are? It sounds horribly boring, and I'm sorry, but it's a little more exciting than that.
The number one manufacturer? Are you talking like Michelin?
Just the world's number one producer of tires.
I guess that's my guess. Michelin?
Legos.
Really?
Legos is the number one tire producer.
I'm assuming they mean like not like tires for
I don't
cars.
know what size.
Yeah.
I don't know what size. I don't know what they're attached to. I don't know what the material is consists. I guess just small rubber wheels is pretty much the basis for that.
Then that definitely makes sense.
Yeah, Legos is the number one. But I mean, that's still crazy that they're still pumping out more Lego tires than tires.
It's got to be easier to do.
I mean, it's got to be a lot easier. You could probably make like 100,000 Lego tires with one fucking regular tire.
Yeah,
but
so.
It's still something.
Yeah, it's still pretty
crazy. It's a lot more tires I've ever made in my life. But with that, I'd just like to say good morning, good afternoon, good night. Thanks for tuning in to... We're gone.
You're leaving.
Good night, guys. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Jammin. A special late happy birthday to co-host Barn.
Thank you.
And he is turning 25.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. An exciting year for a grown-ass man.
Yes. It's also weird for me.
Yeah.
Because I wore 25 in like sports. So all my stuff is like Megacron 25.
Oh, yeah.
Which now, from here on, people now think it'll be my age.
Yeah. You just got it for this 1 year of life.
Well, people are going to now think that like I either made it this year, and then whenever I turn 26, people are going to be like, oh, you made it last year. Yeah. Versus before then, it was always probably a sports number.
Mine was 33.
So you have a lot of more time to go.
No, I'm just a big fan of Larry Bird. That's my goat.
I just assume that's racist.
It is.
Like, if you're a big fan of Larry Bird, you're racist. Like,
yeah.
it's got to correlate.
Because it's just like, I don't know, like if, who's someone that you think of that's like super exciting in the NBA? Like Vince Carter.
Yeah, okay.
If Vince Carter was white and you're like, I'm a big fan of Vince Carter, I'd be like, I get it, dude, super exciting. Like being a big fan of Jason Williams, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just a fun person to watch.
Yeah.
But like, just a boring ass person. Maybe if you're from Indiana, I get it, but that also plays into what we just said about the racist thing.
Yeah, and say if you're like if you live like born in Indiana, huge Celtics fan.
Yeah, still.
And then you're like, Larry Bird's my favorite. And then it's also, that's the years you grew up watching basketball.
No way somebody was already an Indiana and Boston Celtics fan.
They weren't cheering for the Pacers. Come on.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I get it. I hate that we're kind of expected to just be a Indiana fan.
That's why I'm a Chicago fan. Because that's my local team. Because it's just close enough.
Yeah, I kind of hate that, but I honestly think I would hate it more if we did have a pro team, because I'm assuming we wouldn't have a good team. They wouldn't let us.
I didn't expect to talk about this. Did you see the Indiana, when they did the rebuilding trade, they have now one more than the Kings, who they traded with to rebuild?
They have what?
So they traded...
What sense are you using the word one? They have one more?
Games.
Oh,
so they're trying to rebuild.
Know if you're saying like one more player.
No.
I don't care.
No.
Not to be a dick.
Yeah.
But
they traded to rebuild, so they traded to tank.
Yes.
But they're now, because of the trade, they have now won more games than the team that was trying to win, and they're trying to tank.
So who does Sacramento have? De'Aaron Fox.
Yes. Also, the guy from Indiana, their center, I think.
Oh yeah, that dude's actually pretty good. Sabonis.
Yes.
Yeah.
The guy they just traded for, everyone was like, why would they do that? That dude's fucking great, and he's showing it because the Pacers are winning. I just don't know his name. It's a really weird last name.
I'm not good with names. Like, I genuinely don't remember, like, I would say roughly
80% of Naruto characters.
Yeah, that might actually be a little bit low. But I was going to say people we went to high school with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because, like, my girlfriend, she just re-downloaded Facebook, like, a few weeks ago. And, like, this one thing popped up about, like, this one dude being missing. And she was like, did he go to high school with us? And I was like, I don't know. As far as I know, he's been missing for a while. I don't know this guy. But, no, super bad with names. It takes me a little bit to connect with that. Like, in books, if they try to introduce more than a couple characters at the beginning, I immediately lose like 40% interest.
So you hate Game of Thrones?
It's a lot to keep up with. Well, at least with TV shows and stuff. I mean, granted, you could have read the Game of Thrones book, so you might still be in that predicament. But like, at least TV shows, you have a face to attach. Mm-hmm. You know, so there's things setting it apart. But in books, you're just like, oh, this kid Randall pops up, and then it's like, oh, another dude named Mike, and I'm like, I don't know the difference between them two, and like, that's two people already. I'm done with that. Like, I don't need any more of that.
I actually thought about buying Horizon Zero Dawn, the new PlayStation game, and apparently that's one of the complaints I've been hearing about it. Is it throws like 400 characters at you up front, and then like later on they'll all come back and stuff like that, but like you're kind of. You either need to be really invested in it, or kind of not at all. Yeah,
Either you can care too much, or you can care too little, and it'll fuck it up.
Yeah,
but no, I'm kind of dumb about that stuff. Like, symbolism is kind of something that's lost on me in literature still. I am a very literal person, and I need stuff to be spelled out for me. So, like, if you're just trying to tell me, like, the entire book, you're telling me that, like, this thing is this, but then I go on Google and that thing wasn't actually real and it just represented something, and I'm like, why would you do that? Like, that wasn't really symbolism because you never told me. You just kind of lied to me for a while.
Yeah.
But
that's how I feel about what I consider bad satire.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, that's not satire. Like, you're just
lying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that wasn't good. That wasn't clever.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, that was just a straight up lie.
Yeah.
like in Bob's Burgers, whenever Linda put on the play and she said specifically she was not the murderer at the beginning and she ended up being, she was like, well, what y'all think about the plot twist? He's like, you just lied to us.
It's not a plot twist, you lied.
I actually went to the movies and I saw the Bob's Burgers.
Same, because I also went to the movies. I watched Batman.
Oh, I'm actually really excited because I was prepared to make a joke about that and be like, hey, we can talk about Batman. And then as soon as you said you didn't see it, I was going to like just legitimately get up and be done. I was pretty serious about that. But yeah, I saw I'm actually pretty excited to talk about that now.
Yes.
But I saw the Bob's Burgers commercial.
What do you think about it?
The graphics look weird. Like the animation style, like it's darker. I mean, it's more movie-esque.
Yeah, it looks...
Yeah, but it's just weird seeing a show that's usually like bright and colorful. And I mean, it is, but it looks like it's dulled a little bit.
The movie that I'm going to compare it to is the only other like adult animation theatrical movie that I kind of remember, and that's Simpsons. Simpsons was very grand scale. It felt like it was a movie about to happen, and that this needed to be a movie instead of just like a 2-part episode.
Yeah.
This one doesn't. From what I've seen, it just seems like they're trying to just keep it low, keep everything that you like about it, but it's not so grand scale that it feels like a movie.
It feels like a 2-parter.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, dude, like, I remember when the Simpsons movie came out, I didn't give a fuck about the Simpsons.
Never even seen an episode before.
I saw it in theaters, though. Mm-hmm. I was super excited to see it in theaters.
Yeah.
But something actually kind of related to that. I bought this one thing that's just like a little glass box, and you're supposed to just keep your movie tickets in it.
That's cool.
I thought that was really cool.
Something I used to do is anytime I got a movie ticket, I would grade it on the movie ticket and then throw it in my wallet, which I always thought was cool.
And then throw it out.
And then throw it away.
So it was kind of pointless what I did.
Yeah. But I would keep them in my wallet, and then obviously I just don't like having that much shit in my wallet.
Yeah.
That I stopped. But I thought that was cool.
So, obviously, I want to talk about Batman. But I saw Death on the Nile.
Death on the Nile.
It's an old Agatha Christie book. It's supposed to be just like a murder mystery. A murder happens on the boat, and you're just trying to solve.
That sounds amazing.
It's not. It's.
I love a good murder mystery, though. Actually, I love a bad murder mystery. I think they're all good.
The only reason that movie wasn't a complete bombshell is because the interrogation scenes are actually pretty good. But other than that, there's like, I don't know, there's just like stupid shit that doesn't need to happen in there. There's kind of big plot holes where they're like, oh, well, if he didn't do it, he wouldn't have done this. And I'm like, he still could have. Like, that doesn't, you know? And they're like, oh, well, the bullet used to kill this person wasn't used, didn't match the one that the guy had on him. And he was like, well, if he killed him, he would have used his own gun. And I'm like, well, maybe he didn't because he didn't want you to make that connection.
Yeah.
And there being one bullet missing from his gun is kind of a telltale sign that he 100% did it.
Yeah.
But I digress. But it had those moments where even as a grown man, it made me really uncomfortable to watch because it just had really overly sexual moments of like, because the movie starts off with like these two newlyweds dancing, and it's very, very over sexual for no reason, like cringy almost. Yeah. And then he just says stupid stuff, like he walks over to her after, and she's getting a drink with her friend, and he's like, "Oh, how that was naughty of me." And I'm like, "What the fuck? Like, people don't talk like that." I think might, but I mean, goddamn, dude, like that's how you talk to people.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's really all I have to say on the forefront of that. Mm-hmm. What do you think about Batman?
Oh, it was great. The only complaint that I have about the movie is it felt long.
It did feel long.
Yeah, but
I enjoyed it, but it did feel long.
It feels really long, and when I think about it, and I've thought about it pretty much ever since I watched it, what could be cut out? And I don't think there is anything.
Yeah, it all is kind of necessary, but
like maybe you could cut out like minutes, but that doesn't help the issue. Like you need to, if that movie could be like even like 2 hours and 30 minutes, just cutting off 30 minutes would help that movie so much.
Yeah, it'd make a big difference, dude.
But it feels really long, but it's all needed, so it's kind of like a necessary evil. I didn't love the end scene. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
But it's not what I wanted. I was hoping that there's a character revealed in a jail cell.
Yes.
And I didn't want them revealed.
It's Condiment, man.
Huh?
It's Condiment King.
If it was Condiment King, I'd have been ecstatic. But who it is, I wish they would have just not and just let everyone's like mind just wonder who.
It definitely could have been without. Do you know what else that dude's been in?
Who? The guy who plays the guy that I'm complaining about,
yes.
or the guy who plays Riddler?
No, the guy you were complaining about.
No, I don't even know who it is, but it's not who I wanted it to be,
yes.
and that's why it makes me mad.
He's the guy from Eternals.
Which one?
Not the one that's clearly the bad superhero. The one from The Boys.
Yeah, not the guy from The Boys. Not the guy from Atlanta.
Yes, not the guy from Atlanta. Not. What's he been in? I know he's been in stuff. I mean, he's like a legitimate actor.
I'm assuming
he's the Indian guy.
Oh, it is? Is the guy who...
No, not the Indian guy.
Oh,
that's the guy I'm talking about right now. I'm trying to describe who it's not.
In Eternals, it's the Indian guy is the guy who's the Bollywood actor.
Yes. So the guy I'm talking about is the white guy that's not the Boys.
Okay.
He's superhero version of a Captain America or superhero, Superman or whatever. But yeah, it's him. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I didn't like the Eternals at all, though. Like... So I wasn't super excited because that's the only thing I've seen that dude on, and now he's being led into this, setup. So it didn't make me excited about it because I don't like that guy from what I know.
Yeah. Also, the sequel to the Batman has been hinted at from a special website that you can go to that has been posting dates. You know about this?
No, I saw something about like the online riddle. Or
yes,
something.
You can go to the.
Oh, that's it.
The Riddler's website, and it'll post dates. Those dates are from the same. It'll post the comic books.
Yeah.
The origin stories of certain characters. One of them is the Penguin, because the Penguin's in this movie. One of them is Riddler, because this movie's about the Riddler. The other's about the cop that I don't know his name. It's like Capone, but it's not.
The cop.
Falcom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's his comic book.
Falcom? Yeah.
And then the other two are Joker and Two-Face that have been shown.
Neat. So they are setting up for some
Which
shit.
means, what? We're getting the same Dark Knight trilogy? Just this time we start with Riddler? Instead of,
either that or it might be...
Ra's al Ghul?
Yeah. Either that, I'll say, or it could be a little bit more condensed.
Yeah.
Because, we do meet a decent amount of people in this movie.
Yeah, oh yeah. But, yeah, it just seems like they're going to set up the next one to be probably Two-Face and...
Yes.
Which I love the Harvey Dent storyline. So I'm all for that being a part of this Batman's. I think Robert Pattinson plays the perfect Batman that he's supposed to be.
Yeah, because this is supposed to be like a darker world.
And a new Batman, which I think helps Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
I think Christian Bale would look ridiculous doing a lot of the stunts that Robert Pattinson had to do. One in particular, the glide, when he's brave enough to do it but isn't experienced enough to pull it off, and he hits something and crashes down. Christian Bale would have looked ridiculous. I don't think that's his role.
Yeah.
So I think this was a good casting for what they wanted to do with it.
I do like that they show his... Because he's new in this movie. This is like, I think they even state like 2 years.
Yeah,
like
2,
him and Gordon
have
been working for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So he's pretty new to this.
Yes.
And it shows him still like struggling to even keep a hold of his actual business.
Yeah, he doesn't care to be Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
And you start to see him realize that that's important too.
Yes.
Which I think is fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
God, that was so good.
Yeah, and that's why I was telling you last time, because whenever me and my girlfriend went to see it, I was like, that's the shit that makes Batman so cool, and I'm glad they did stuff like that, because he genuinely is Batman, and Bruce Wayne is his alter ego. Like, he is Batman first and foremost. That's how he sees himself.
Yeah.
That's who, in his dreams, that's who he is in his dreams.
Yeah.
So, he's just... what about individual characters? So we'll start with the villains. What do you think about, like...
Riddler does great.
Yeah.
I think the casting is a bit odd, but
it's interesting.
It works.
Yeah.
I think it works for what they were going for, and I think it was great.
I liked Riddler.
But, where's that but? I know it's coming.
I don't think there's really too much of a but on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think he kind of fits that whole demeanor of, like, I am someone who sets stuff up. I'm not a fighter myself, so, you're not going to see me and you go at it. Mm-hmm. But he just kind of gives off that, like, the school shooter vibes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And to me, like a modern day supervillain who is kind of a weak, docile guy, I think that's how they're going to be. Yeah. They're going to be more of setting shit up without doing too much of it themselves. And I don't know, he was pretty good.
Yeah.
For what his role was. I mean, he showed that Batman's vulnerable. Like, Batman's not perfect. He's just a pretty good detective with a lot of resources and shit, and he can be beat. Yeah. I mean, Batman gets beat a lot.
I think he has a brilliant scene of... I don't want to spoil it because it is still super new.
I guess it just depends on what part you're talking about.
So maybe this is a spoiler warning. It's not going to be crucial, and it's not going to really give away a whole bunch.
Just maybe if you don't want to know too much about Batman, maybe just skip a little bit.
Skip ahead, yeah. We probably won't talk about this for... maybe like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. So, last warning. Skip ahead if you need.
Yeah.
The thing that really I thought was a brilliant scene was him just saying, like, oh, I thought you were smarter than what you were. I thought that was so good.
Yeah, like he said he over-credited him.
Yeah.
He was like, you don't know.
Yeah, that was perfect. Like, that's when I was like, oh, yeah.
That was a chilling moment.
Yeah.
Because, like, you just see this guy, he just appears to be somewhat of a super fan.
And almost
who's just
defeated.
kind of excited. Yeah. He's just kind of, honestly, a little nervous about meeting Batman because he has these high standards for him. And he's just like, you're the guy. I knew you was going to be the guy to, take me down and help me in this process because he views them as partners.
Yeah.
And they kind of are to a certain degree, whether Batman's really willing or not. But he's pretty much just falling victim to Riddler's game.
Yeah.
Like, and that's really all it is he's just doing what the Riddler pretty much wants him to. Like, even when that moment of when he's like, bring him into the light, and then he looks up and he's like, fuck. And he's like, yep, got me again, man.
I think he was great. I also think that this was such a smart move from the writers, directors, whoever picked this out, to say that the mastermind Riddler being the first true villain of a young Batman is through the roof great. Because if I think about the others, like Joker is a pretty tough one that needs to be a late.
Yeah, that needs to be a developed Batman to handle his shit.
Yeah.
If not, it has to be a movie where the Joker pretty much just pushes his shit in. And then later he comes back and it's like, all right, now I fucking know what to do against you.
Like Bane isn't a good one for a first.
Yeah.
Like I think Riddler really worked out and I wouldn't have originally said that.
Yeah.
So then we'll move on to the next character, Penguin.
Yes.
I like this relatively. I like this adaptation more for what it is.
I do too. Yeah, because
this is cool.
Yeah, he's supposed to be more of like a crime boss, like not really a hands-on guy. Like he'll, you see his face. He's obviously willing to do some shit himself, but like when he's confronted by like Batman, he's just like, "Hey, dude, what are you doing? Like, I don't do this.
Yeah,
like grow up, man." But
I thought he was good. I thought he was a cool character.
I'm excited about him because
he might even get his own show. HBO asked for it.
I wouldn't be against that. Yeah. I mean, because he kind of plays. That was a pretty good side villain.
Yeah.
Because he's not doing too much on the grand scale as Riddler is.
It does look like he's about to be more of a villain.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is cool.
But he's just kind of like hey, mind your own business. I'm going to do my illegal activities. Other than that, I'm really not a bad guy if you don't look at these activities I do. I'm not trying to kill people, but if people get in my way, I will. Yeah. I'll gladly do it. Yeah. That scene where they kidnap him was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I thought that
and then the last villain of this is Falcom, who I didn't know. I've never read a comic with him in it. I didn't know of him from any movies.
No. I can't say
he's
I'm
interesting.
Yeah.
He was he was really interesting. I wonder if that's true about his like big plot twist thing about him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
I don't need to go into it. I don't know if that's canon or not.
Yes.
Like to comics and stuff. But it was cool. I thought that was an interesting like switch up there.
Yeah, because they dive into his origin story a little bit without it being just like this, you know this.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, we don't need to hear this anymore. But this actually kind of shook it up a little bit.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool.
What do you think about Catwoman?
She's a side character. And I think she does well as a side character. I don't think she was like... She's not winning like best supporting role, but she does good for what she's... I was going to be pissed. I was going to say she shouldn't have been in the movie because it looked like she was only going to be that first little segment, but then she comes back later. But if she was just that first segment, I was like, that was the most unnecessary thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But she comes back and she does play a big role, and I was like, all right, good. Because if not, I was going to be like, that was just to have a good-looking woman in the movie.
Yeah, I'm saying I like Zoe Kravitz. I like her. I like her role in that. I feel like they did a little bit of a romance thing when they didn't have to. That's honestly my only complaint about her.
It does seem weird.
Yeah, because I feel like you're probably going to get more time with that portrayal of Catwoman in the future if that's what they decide to do. Mm-hmm. But so you didn't really need to try the romance thing right now because it's kind of weird.
It did feel off. It did feel a little forced.
Yeah,
like it felt like I don't know. Batman's just so like distant and cold to everyone. He truly doesn't care about anyone. And then Yeah, it just immediately, like, he's like, oh, this
Yeah.
girl's hot. And then
Yeah, I was saying, because, I mean, don't get me wrong, if I met Zoe Kravitz, I'd probably have the same reaction. But
I'm not Batman.
I'm not Batman. Yeah, and this guy's supposed to have that just like I don't want to talk to you kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I only want to talk to you if it's going to benefit my work as Batman.
Yeah.
But immediately, you can kind of tell he's taken by her, which is kind of cute, I guess. But,
Yeah.
like, I want this to be a he only uses her to help him thing, and then eventually down the line. Mm-hmm. Not within a 3-hour span, he's just like, no, I'm by myself. That's Zoe Kravitz? God damn. Like, it's just, it's not as instant as I'm making it sound, but for Batman, that's like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Of him just being like, I'm solo. No, I'm not. Like, I'm okay with, yeah. But, I mean, honestly, that's my only complaint about her, because I am a little, I think maybe Marvel has made me like be like this, where I'm a little bit of a cynic when it comes to females' roles in movies like this. Marvel's done a lot better recently, but my girlfriend, she's going back and watching. She's watching the Marvel Universe in cinematic order, and even the shorts.
In cinematic order?
In chronological order.
Okay.
Yeah, the Marvel Universe in chronological order.
Yeah, okay.
But so she's watching it in order, even with the shorts. Like, I never saw the shorts because I watched them for the most part as they came out.
Yeah.
So, like, there's some about the dude that plays the Mandarin in Iron Man 3. Mm-hmm. They show at what happens to him after that when he's in jail in like a 20-minute short on Disney, and how it leads to him being in Shang-Chi.
That's neat.
That's all it is, though.
Yeah.
It's just neat.
Yeah.
Like, so, but my point with that was getting on to Black Widow's role early in the MCU. Because it sucks. Her role in it sucks early on. Mm-hmm. Because it starts out with she gets Iron Man's attention because it's Scarlett Johansson. She's pretty hot. And then after that, she's in some Captain America movies, and it's a will they, won't they, because they're both hot. And then she's the person that just is supposed to calm down the Hulk because they have a thing for some reason, and then it's never brought up again.
Yeah, I thought that was going to lead to something, but doesn't.
They just stopped it. Like, because it seems so weird that they was like, okay, this romance isn't really landing with the audience, so we're going to try the next Avenger. And they're just like, no, just maybe make her own character. Like, her whole character doesn't have to be
romance.
Yeah. Like, and I hate whenever, predominantly male-oriented shows kind of do that with women. That's why I'm a little bit cynical. Like, when I saw Zoe Kravitz, I was like, I really hope they don't just like, all right, it's Zoe Kravitz. She's going to be dressed up as Catwoman, so yeah, it's going to be pretty good. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I don't know, just make her a love interest. But she actually did have her own shit going on.
Yeah, she was cool.
Yeah, I thought that movie was pretty good about it, but like I said, I thought the whole love interest thing, I think it happened too soon. Mm-hmm. Like, if they would have just hinted at it going somewhere, I'd been like, okay, like, that would be kind of cool to see unfold. But Batman. What about the Bat himself? What do you think about Robert Pattinson?
Great. I mean, again, I think he just played the perfect role for what they wanted.
Yep.
I get why they picked him, actually. Yep. I don't know who else could... I never realize... Like, whenever I hear Robert Pattinson's going to be Batman, I'm like, that's a weird casting, but then it works. And I'm like, I wonder what they seen.
Yeah.
That they were like, that's why we want him to do this. So...
Yeah, because with a lot of movies, it seems like they pretty much know who they want before they start. Yeah. Even if they still do a casting and shit, they still seem like they kind of know who they're writing it for.
Yeah. And something that I wondered was, because Ben Affleck wanted his own Batman movie, and he wanted it to be called The Batman.
Okay, yeah.
He wanted, I think he said something fucking crazy, like 6 villains or something just outright ridiculous in it. And we get 3 main villains almost, like 2.5, I guess. Penguin's kind of not the main.
Yeah.
But I wonder how much of this was pitched in that meeting. And then they were like, yeah, but you're just not who we want.
Yeah.
My only other complaint is, like, he's supposed to be a superhero. and Robert Pattinson's not like ripped. He's not in bad shape by any means.
I kind of like that though.
Yeah,
because like they showed the shirtless scene, I was like, oh fuck, did Pat get jacked for this? And like, no, he's just kind of a normal looking dude. He's a really good fighter that kind of relies on his armor to just keep him protected. And I'm like, that's kind of cool.
If in the next few movies, because it seems like he's going to at least get
he
a
is
sequel.
still new. I mean, 2 years.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, you're talking about a dude who.
Jacked.
Well, and I like
I'll
that
love
too because I'm, obviously this is me overthinking it,
Yeah.
but to me that shows that like this guy's not in the gym all the time because he is a detective first. He's a detective first and foremost.
Yes.
And I think maybe doing 2-a-days at the gym may get in the way of you being a good detective, Yeah. But I don't know. So I don't know. Maybe maybe it's still a little recency bias, but I loved it.
I did too. I think it's something that I've noticed about this movie.
Yeah.
Is that if a movie is good, certain scenes are just good. But the same scene would be bad.
Yes, they're giving
if
it the benefit
movie
of the
was
doubt.
bad. And the thing that I think of is there's a scene where, and you've probably seen the little like GIF of it or something, but it's what they said, Batman's runway walk. When he's walking into that club and he's just strutting his shoulders and it looks like a runway walk.
Yeah,
that scene would have been joked on so fucking hard if the movie was bad. They'd have been like, look at this stupid fucking scene. But that same scene is looked at as like, this shouldn't go this hard because the movie's so good. And I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah, well, I mean, whenever you have good context telling you that this isn't a bad scene, it'll make it a lot better. But when you have no reason to think that it's a good scene, what'd you rate it?
I don't even know if I did rate it, just because I didn't.
Yeah.
I think I was going to give it a 9.
I gave it a 9.
Yeah.
I think it's on par. I think it's better than Batman Begins.
It's the second. It's number 2 for me.
I think it's tied for number 2. I think if somebody wanted to say Batman Rises was a better movie, I wouldn't hate it, but I would probably.
I think it's better than Batman Rises.
I do.
personally.
I do too, but not by a lot to where I could give it a whole nother rating. Yeah. Like if Batman Rises is a 9, I would say the Batman is probably like a 9.2 or 3.
I'm scared to rewatch that movie.
Which one?
Batman Rises.
Yeah.
Poison Ivy. Kinda. Her death scene. I saw it replayed. It is.
Oh.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. And I don't know. Because I remember leaving the movie being like, Bane was phenomenal. That dude
he was badass.
Killed it.
Tom Hardy fucking killed it.
Yes, but then I was like, oh, was that supposed to be Poison Ivy? I was like, she wasn't great.
Honestly, never assembled that.
Yeah, I guess it was like only like subtle.
Yeah, I never put that together.
Yeah, I was like, she kind of sucks, but is kind of cool and feels a little crucial.
I wasn't the biggest fan of her.
Yeah, and so I'm wondering if I go back, because if I hate her, like if I hate that character more, it'll start to lower the movie regardless on how good everything else is.
Yeah. I do like that they threw Joseph Gordon-Levitt in as Robin, and they never do anything with it.
Never made another movie.
No, I kind of like that, though, because I was like, that's pretty neat that, like, he has the unofficial title of Robin, and he's doing shit that Robin would do.
Yeah. Like,
just a non-super powered, non-super strong or rich guy, but just a good person. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tom Hardy fucking kills that. That scene... That plane scene, I love so fucking much.
A good opening scene makes a movie.
It's chilling, dude. Because he's just acting like he's shooting people and throwing them out of a plane. And he was like, well, you don't seem so scared. And he was like, well, why would someone shoot someone before throwing them out of a plane? And he hears the voice and he's like, oh, shit. Yeah. He's like, oh, God damn it, man. Yeah. It's going to be a whole thing. And then my favorite thing about that is that they showed Bane for being a smart person. Mm-hmm. They showed that he's not just a roided out jock.
I like both.
You have to be one way or the other.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to be over the top. He's just dumb, a goofy big guy who literally has like the instincts of just like
a bear.
Like a bear. That's just all he knows is just he sees something in front of it and to destroy it.
Yes.
Or they actually show the guy who made the is it just called the serum, like Bane serum? What do they call that? I know it has a fucking name. By the way, I wanted to mention something about this, about the new Batman. Do you think that's what Robert Pattinson injects in himself?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I did. I 100% did. I haven't looked it up. I meant to. I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, because he kind of gets roid rage after that.
Yeah.
And because my girlfriend asked me, she was like, what did he just inject himself with? And I kind of hesitated. I was like, I actually think that might be Bane serum. I was like, I had almost no reason to think that, because like it wasn't like labeled Bane serum or anything. We haven't seen anything about Bane, but
the Batman hints at Batman's addiction to Bane's deadly venom. It's called Venom.
Okay, yeah, so, I thought it was, but I was like, that just sounds weird.
Dude, sometimes that song gets stuck in my head and it fucking makes me furious.
Don't say that word
furious.
Again. But I'm actually pretty happy about that. That I called that one then.
Yeah.
But
yeah, as soon as
that's pretty cool. It hints at his addiction?
Yeah, I didn't read the article, obviously.
That's pretty crazy. Well, whenever I saw him beat that nerd to death, I was like, that's roid rage if I've ever seen it.
So, I know roid rage.
I know that shit. But no, I'm happy that you went to go see it. When'd you go see it?
On my birthday or the day after?
Oh, well, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been going to the movies every week for the past, 3 weeks or so.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
It's kind of weird because you are the person that hates on the movies.
I do. I love the idea of going to the movies because it really does add a different experience. Mm-hmm. And it is pretty cool.
Do you go alone or you go with?
No, me and my girlfriend go together. Okay. I'll say.
I was going to ask how it is, to go alone. If you ever have. Because I never have.
I was going to, last 2 weeks ago, but then she ended up being free, so I just, she went with me. But I was going to go by myself because I want to make it a point to, even if I don't, because for whatever reason, before I treated it like the tickets cost $100, so if I'm seeing a movie, it has to be a movie I love.
Yeah. On Tuesday, they're $5.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, and plus I have the movie, the Cinemark Reward Club.
Oh, okay.
Where it's $10 a month and you get a free ticket. Once a month, you get a discount on everything. If you order online, a decent discount. So I was like, why not? That's a good reason to kind of make me get out of the house, see more movies and shit. So that's the only reason I went to go see Death on the Nile and Uncharted, movies that I probably would never watch if it wasn't for that. Because it's not movies I was dying to fucking see, you know?
There is something else in theaters I've been wanting to watch. Maybe it is Uncharted.
Yeah. I would go watch it. It's one that you don't have to see in the movies unless you're looking for a reason to go to the movies. It's pretty good, but no,
Jujutsu Kaisen 0 is in theater. I would like to see it.
Is that a monster thing?
It's an anime movie.
Oh.
Yeah. Jackass Forever, I don't necessarily want to see it in theater.
I want to see it. I don't care to see it in theaters. Though.
Same. That's exactly how I feel about it.
But who knows? This time next week, whenever I do my weekly rounds, it might be the only movie that looks halfway decent.
I didn't know Licorice Pizza was in theater.
It's a very specific showing.
Oh, okay. Because I've really wanted to see it.
Yes, because you could. It's saying that a lot of movies are in theater, but it may not be at the one we go to, or it could just be at a very specific time one day. But
yeah.
But no, I do like the movies just because the experience. But when we went to go see Death on the Nile, it was a pretty small theater because it had the nicer chairs. It was the one out in by Brownsboro.
Yeah, but
people it's not even loud people that get on my nerves, but it's the noisy people. Because there was only 5 people in the theater, and 2 of them, of course, had to be sitting literally a chair away from me and my girlfriend, and they weren't loud, but they was the people that had to make an audible reaction to everything. like had to laugh out loud at shit, had to audibly like gasp when shit happened. I was like, dude, that wasn't even that crazy. So my entire reaction in the movie was determining if it warrants that reaction or if I'm just being a dick.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know how, but they made an entire like medium thing of popcorn last the entire fucking movie. Either that or she was just literally crumpling it up every 5 seconds. But I was like, how are you doing this? I was like, how do you just not stop making noise? Mm-hmm. You know, because I get it. There's a social contract that you sign when you go see a theater, and it's that there's other people there. You're going to hear stuff. It's not, you can't expect everybody to be pitch fucking quiet the entire time. Because, like, you've watched movies with me. I like talking during movies. You know, we commentate on shit. But, like, if you're in a theater, maybe you could still do that. Maybe a little quieter.
Yeah.
You know?
I actually don't in theater. The only time I will is if it's like,
yeah.
Hey, that's Daredevil. Like,
stuff like
those
that.
scenarios.
Yeah. Or if it's like something that's kind of ridiculous happens, and I just kind of need confirmation from somebody, I'm like, I'm not a dick, right? Just
what the fuck?
Yeah, because like that scene I was just telling you about, where they're like groping each other as they're dancing. Like I looked over and I was like, hey, what the fuck is this? I was like, I'm still not even sure we're watching the right movie yet. It's just very weird and off-putting, but I mean, you just kind of have to accept. Batman was actually a movie I had to get up and piss for. I just thought about that.
Oh, I didn't.
Because I had to. It got to the point because that movie is so fucking long where I actually had to leave and go piss, and I was upset because I didn't want to miss anything.
Yeah,
because that's a, you know, cat and mouse movies. You don't really want to miss shit. But nothing really happened, luckily. But it's been a while since I had to like get up during a movie at a theater to go piss, and that movie just fucking made me.
Yeah,
but
it made me piss.
Yeah. Happy early St. Patrick's Day.
That's why we're in green.
Oh yeah, you are in green, ain't you?
Yeah, camo one.
I didn't see that because I remember you texted me about that, and I was like, this motherfucker's wearing a denim jacket.
Yeah. Well, I don't just like wearing a camo t-shirt, so I kind of had to.
I get that.
Yeah. But it's also the only thing that I own that's green, so it was a weird sacrifice.
Have you, outside of like this podcast, was you ever the person that like actually wore green on St. Patrick's Day?
I mean, in school, yeah. Like I never went like all out and really did it, but I mean,
because you're racist.
I was just throwing some green.
Yeah. You know, I'm like, that's why like most of my heritage is Irish.
I think you mentioned it.
Yeah, I think it's like 40% Irish, which is kind of neat, I guess. I don't like it that I.
That's why you went so.
Yeah,
so green.
I went so heavy, but I don't like it that I have somewhat red armpit hair. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't. Not a big fan of that. I just don't want any red hair really. But like my cousin, I'm assuming it's from my dad's side of the family because you've seen my cousin who is a large Asian fellow with black hair.
Fellow?
I mean, he's a fellow.
I just usually hear fella.
Yeah, my fellow Asian, my fellow Irishman, my fellow cousin. But yeah, he's just a big old Asian guy with a tan guy, black hair, and a red beard. So I'm assuming it all points to that way. I'm assuming that's why I have rosacea.
Maybe. I don't know, but sure, sounds...
There's one dude at my work who, when he drinks, his chest gets red.
Chest?
His chest. Yeah.
How do you know?
Oh,
Did he tell
me.
you?
Yeah. We was drinking, and he showed me his tits. And he asked me, because he was saying that he thought that was an Asian thing. Because I think Asians don't process liquor as well. Which I guess I'm glad that I had my Irish side, because I guess they kind of cancel each other out. But yeah, he said it had something to do with that. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think that was right, because to me that almost just looked like liver failure. But I was like, well, I'm probably not the best, opposition to that. either that or he must think I'm like drunk 24/7 because my face is always just red and glowing bright red. So he's like, oh wow, that dude's fucked up right now. I just always thought that was weird.
Yeah.
That he was just like, oh, my chest gets like fucking blood red when I drink it. No, it's just an Asian thing. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't fucking know about that. How's your week been, though?
Not too bad. Been kind of busy.
Yep.
I got to episode 140 on One Piece today.
Yeah.
Yeah. It always surprises me how good that show is.
Out of 1,000?
Oh God, it's just over 1,000.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to end in like 2024. So the pace that I'm going at, I should finish it around like 2028, I guess. Like I don't watch it much at all.
When did that show start?
Oh, it's
like late 90s.
Yeah, it's been around a long time.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool though. The thing that surprises me is how planned out it is. That's what really gets me. Yeah. And I'm getting to the point of, other than just the episode amount, that made me not want to watch it. When I was younger, like middle school, early high school, I saw 3 episodes aired on like Toonami or something, and I watched it, and they introduced this character, like full backstory, everything. The next episode, more backstory, almost looks like they're joining the crew. Third, they died. And I was like, oh, did I miss something? So I looked it up, and those are the only 3 episodes they were in. And I was like, this is horrible. And apparently it does it a lot. And I was like, oh, that's fucking stupid. Now I've came to realize that it's like just the whole story is just world building. It's just showing you how big and vast the world is, and they don't all just die in 3 episodes, but there is a lot of like, they'll build up these characters who will have their own adventures that you don't see. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. But I fucking hated it so much then. Because I was like, that's so stupid that it wasted my time like that. But now I've grown to like it versus I used to hate it. And it's pretty good. I think I usually watch like a couple episodes a month. I really am not trying to keep up with that at all. I don't care to try and catch up.
Well, hopefully it'll be one of those shows that its longevity won't affect how good it is. Because I know a lot of movies and shows that I do actually like, but how long it goes on, unfortunately, makes me like. Because it's not that it deteriorates as it goes on, but it's just like there's a lot of stuff that you didn't need to include that made it. Specifically, I think of Naruto, where how many episodes that are not needed are in there kind of makes me look lesser. Will think lesser of that show because of it.
Well, that's why I like One Piece. Is like the filler. Is that the filler is like, oh, they had to stop to get food, so they have to explore this island, and it'll just fully show you this entire island, everything, the whole world that's on this island. Versus Naruto's filler was, oh, we got to go catch fish today.
Yeah, and guy literally opens up a fucking gate. I think a couple gates to catch a fucking. I mean, granted, it's bigger than a catfish. It's a pretty big fucking fish that he's catching. But I was like, bro, what am I supposed to see off of this? Because to me, now it just seems like the gates really aren't that good. Yeah. And then he uses the gates later to fight Madara, and I'm like, oh my god, these gates are amazing. But earlier he used it to catch a fish.
Yeah, so like that's like the difference that I'm noticing too. Is like this one is definitely like they make everything feel important, even when it needs, like, it's not technically important.
Yeah, but it's at least entertaining.
Yeah.
But like it made me think of this because you said you had to go back and look up shit. Tokyo Ghoul fucked me up so bad with that.
Oh, I don't understand what happened.
Dude,
I don't know why they did what they did.
I don't know either. Because, like, I was thinking whenever I started the next season, like, I was completely fucking lost.
I thought it was a different show.
I did too. I was like, did I miss something? Was there not a season after this, and maybe Hulu just went to the next related show?
Because it even goes Tokyo Ghoul to Tokyo Ghoul, and I was like, oh, I missed the ending of Tokyo Ghoul, and I was like, no, we're just here now. Like, it just skips.
And it does clear it up later. But later than I would have preferred, because I exited out of Hulu, refreshed it, and logged back in to see that, no, I'm still on the right path.
Yeah.
But I was like, what the fuck? Like, why would you do this?
The show's not even that long either, which is what really is bothersome of it, is it's like, you go 2 seasons, I think they're like, say, 12 to 24 episodes apiece, and then you jump what feels like 6 seasons ahead, and then it explains it within like 6 episodes. So for 6 episodes, you just think that you fucked up.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, I didn't. This is what happened. But it's
fucked up.
Yeah. And I'm like, why didn't you just just catch me up a little? Yeah. Tell me that, hey, like, we're going to be taking a time jump.
The first season of that show is pretty badass, though.
I think the whole show
is
good.
Yeah, it is really good. To me, the last season adds a little too much that it doesn't need to. Because, like, I mean, I think the first season is, like, damn near perfect. Mm-hmm. Because it's just, like, kind of creepy and dark and gory and not really too much like of an established hierarchy or, like, too many other components. But it's just these things in front of you instead of it just being like, well, if you think they're badass, you haven't met blank, and you're like, God damn it, there's more fucking people I gotta meet, and I have to understand their social class and standards in these fucking monsters just world. And I'm like, but it's still really good. I mean, even with that, even with me bitching, I just like bitching.
I knew that was coming. I think anime wise, you'd really like Jujutsu Kaisen. It's pretty cool. Okay. It's not like as creepy or weird in that scenario, but it does have some like creepy things going on that's pretty cool. And it's something that I've noticed is like anime now, like it's like mainstream, because I kind of only keep up with mainstream because I'm that guy.
It's easier too.
A lot easier.
Yeah.
It's funny. They all want to be funny, which I appreciate because I love comedy. Yeah. So it's like almost like Marvel-esque, where it's like,
that's what I want to relate it to too. Like, I don't know if Marvel is necessarily to blame for all this, but it really does seem like a lot of movies are like use comedy as an easy fallback.
Yeah, they need to be funny.
Yeah,
to fill the
like there has to be comedic relief.
Yeah, and
another reason I like Batman, because it was kind of refreshing not seeing a lot of comedic relief. And there was some, like that thing I said last time where he's like, "You got a lot of cats," and they're just like, "Yeah."
I get what you're saying, but I think I don't know the right adjective to use here, but for you to just be like, "Yeah, I just appreciate not laughing."
I do.
I'm so sick of laughing, having a good time. I'm just sick of it. Like,
well, it makes me think of Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Yeah.
When I do like that movie a lot. I like the Guardians of the Galaxy as a group. I like the villain in that movie a lot, but it's just too fucking goofy for me. And to me, agree. Honestly, it's only flaw with me, and it's a pretty big one for me.
Yeah.
Because it's just over the top goofy. So, and it's made me to the point where I do appreciate movies that don't care about that. And especially in Batman, because that's supposed to be a dark movie. Like, you're supposed to feel defeated. And that kind of takes punches away whenever you have people laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My biggest complaint is, like, in the Marvel, is that in a fight scene, they never, like, they'll still make jokes and jabs.
Yes.
That's what I like about, like, we'll just say, like, Jujutsu Kaisen. It knows when to get serious. That helps a lot.
Knowing when to is the important part that I think Marvel is starting to get right. But for a good, like, dude, Guardians of the Galaxy 1, I think deserves all the praise it gets, but it's like revered as like a top tier.
It's great.
Ronan sucks. Kind of sucks.
Yeah.
He just really doesn't do anything. I mean, he does do stuff, I guess, depending on who you are. If you ask, like, the Kree or something, but he's pretty boring. And I absolutely hate the fucking dance.
Oh, really?
I fucking hate
the opening?
No, the ending.
The ending is 2, isn't it?
No, whenever they dance in front of Ronan, because he doesn't dance over ego.
Oh, yeah.
They have like...
I was thinking the opening of 2.
Yeah.
Like Baby Groot dancing and all that. Yeah. But no.
No.
Yeah.
No, but like whenever they're trying to get the Infinity Stone away from Ronan and he uses dancing as a distraction, And then Ronan stops everything to look at this guy dancing and being like, what are you doing? Like, really? You're going to stop? You're going to stop destroying the fucking world because you see a guy dancing? Yeah. And I just, to me, that was too goofy. Like, I get it. Star-Lord's supposed to be kind of a goofy guy. Yeah. But I was like, that is stupid. Mm-hmm. I thought that was just fucking stupid.
Just have some fun with it.
That's not when I want the comedic relief, though.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I like the comedic relief, building up stuff or just taking little breaks here and there. But the final scene, when you're fighting for the fucking world, I don't want comedic relief right there.
Yeah.
That's when I want it to be all fucking business. I want to see Star-Lord go fucking beast mode.
Yeah.
And not just dance. Like, that's why his scene, weirdly enough, the movie I was just bitching about being overly goofy, the realization scene with Star-Lord. Mm-hmm. Whenever, like, he has the galaxy in his eyes, and then he realized what ego actually did, and, like, the galaxy kind of shifts away from his eyes, and it just goes back, and he goes, you did what? And I'm like, that gives me chills just thinking about it. Because it's such a good scene. He didn't just start fucking dancing after that, but he's just all business, because he's just hurt and upset.
Yeah, it's knowing when to get serious.
Yes, and it just... I don't know. I still do really like Guardians of the Galaxy, but I hate that scene so much.
Mm-hmm. I think it might have been the director of Krampus, actually, was talking about it. And the reason that he wanted to make a comedy horror was because you get more out of the horror if you're laughing and having a good time with all the characters. Now, that movie's just ridiculous because it's about bad Santa. I mean, there's only so much you can make that scary. But it does... I understood what he was saying. Like, if I'm laughing with these characters, I'm really getting to know these characters, and then shit happens, and it really does get serious, it makes it more impactful.
Yeah, I think there's two schools of thought on that, because I could see that because you're kind of making people feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. Whenever you introduce comedy, and especially in a horror movie, then when you throw them out of their comfortability, it kind of, they're on edge. Like, they're like, oh shit, we was just laughing 2 seconds ago.
That's why I don't like war movies, is it feels like it's always high tension. So, like, the middle tension, when it's, like, still really high, doesn't feel high. So I'm just like, it's all been high tension. Like, this is just in the middle. Like, it's just, we're still here.
Yeah. I have yet to see a horror comedy work out, though.
Same, and I thought Krampus was good for what it was, but I didn't think it was scary.
Yeah, which is a pretty big problem. Mm-hmm. Like, I think, to me, it's not necessarily my favorite, but I think it's up there, but I think the best horror movie is Hereditary. Because it's not one of those movies that use jump scares to make you scared, but it's just... I mean, there's nothing wrong with the jump scare every once in a while, but, eventually The Conjuring kind of relied on jump scares.
Oh, Conjuring slaps. The first one.
Yes.
The first
but then
only.
After that, whenever they get to, Annabelle, Nun, and they rely on jump scares.
Yeah.
And
I really like Conjuring. Cheesy. I like Insidious.
Yes.
Sinister, I love.
Sinister was really good. 2 wasn't really needed.
I don't think any of those needed sequels.
No, honestly, no.
Insidious 2 or 3 has one of my favorite scenes ever because of the wrong reasons, and that's because they go into the other realm, and they have a cup phone on a string, and they're walking, and for some reason I watched it in theater, and our friend Jacob just goes, he turns to me and goes, can you believe that thing hasn't got caught on a single thing yet? And I fucking lost it. I was like, all right, this is done.
I appreciate his thought process. Because that's stuff I'm not thinking about right now.
I didn't think of it because I was like, oh, this is kind of a cool scene. Yeah. And then he said that, and I was like, it's over. The whole movie's done.
Yeah. But, I don't know. I think people really misappropriate what makes a good horror movie. Because, my parents have seen, almost every movie that I've ever seen times 2. They just watch shit all the time. And... they said they really didn't like Hereditary, it wasn't scary, but they was like, I just felt uncomfortable. Yeah. And I was like, yeah.
That's an entire movie that makes you uncomfortable is pretty good.
That's what it does. Yeah, it's not it doesn't present you a monster that you can go as Halloween for. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's not a traditional horror movie in that sense, but it creeps you out. It makes you feel weird. Like, I know when you think of horror, you're supposed to be like, oh, if I'm not screaming, then it's not doing its job. But, like, it makes you feel uneasy.
Yeah.
Like, you're just kind of weirded out. And it does fucking perfect, like, with that. I think it's well written.
I don't naturally like horror movies. Because it's the one genre that I think, like, it doesn't get a pass for being bad. A comedy that's bad is funny. And, like, if it's not funny is the only time that I'm like, oh, it was bad.
Yeah.
Versus if it's just stupid and it wasn't supposed to be, I'm like, oh, it's still funny. Versus a horror movie that's not scary, I'm like, oh, it was a shitty movie. And I don't like so many horror movies that...
Yeah.
But I love good horror.
I'm actually glad you brought that up because I've been thinking about that lately. Because the books that I read are all horror. I mean, you know, some are probably, like, more thriller than horror, but... I really don't know what separates those, and then I don't even know why something would be considered nonfiction versus like thriller. I don't know whatever. But I have always really, really liked horror movies. But horror movies have been the biggest disappointment to me as a movie fan.
Yeah,
it's just so easy to be let down by horror movies. So
that's why I like psychological thrillers are probably my favorite genre.
Yes.
Because those usually don't miss.
Yes.
At least from my perspective.
Yeah, because for whatever reason, it just seems like horror movies don't really transfer over as well. Like, you know, you have your gems here and there that work well. I think the psychological horrors are the ones that best translate if written well. But I think that's why, because even with all that, horror movies, most of the time when I want to watch a movie, and if, maybe I'm by myself or I'm not with a group of friends, I want to watch horror movie. Like, I want to watch them that genuinely scares me or creeps me out. But, obviously, if I'm with friends, I want to watch, comedy, it was super
action.
bad.
You want to watch comedy or action? Yeah.
But I think that's why I like horror books so much, is because that it kind of connects the gap or just the missing void that I was feeling watching horror movies, because they do such a good job in that. They have more time. You get to know more things about whoever's head you're inside of for that time, and they don't have to worry about the visual shit. They kind of just let you determine how scary you think it actually is in your imagination.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it works so well for me, because, I have always loved horror, even though I'd probably say 60% of the horror movies I've watched fucking suck.
Yeah.
Or at least to me they suck.
Yeah. And not liking slashers makes it another big genre of horror movies that I don't like.
Yeah.
So it makes it even harder for me to find a good horror movie that I like.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I like...
Book-wise, I've been actually thinking about, maybe start... you talking about it as much as you do makes me want to read more.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about reading The Shining. It's, one of my favorite movies ever, if not my number one.
Yeah.
It seems like a good book to read.
Yeah. Stephen King really knows his shit. What am I thinking? Misery. Misery is arguably my favorite book I've ever read, and it's the only Stephen King book I've ever read. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I thought you read Carrie.
No.
Did you not?
No. I only mentioned Carrie because it was his first book that he ever wrote.
I thought you were saying you were going to read it.
No, I actually haven't seen a copy of Carrie. I did just buy the original copy of Pet Sematary, and I'm pretty excited for it because this one person I watch on TikTok said that reading wise or book wise, Pet Sematary is his best book, which is weird because it's an okay movie, but I guess it makes sense that the book can obviously be better than the movie.
Yeah, I heard Carrie's structure is really weird.
Yeah,
the way that the story is told, something happened at prom, but you don't know what.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I heard it's pretty cool the way that it's structured, and it makes me want to watch it because I thought I really liked Carrie when I first watched it, and then I've grown to be I think it's okay, but I think it's a cool premise, so I bet I would really like the book.
Yeah.
But how's your week been?
Pretty good. We've pretty much summed it.
Yeah.
I've just been, work, school. I've been to a couple different bookstores, picked up some shit. There's this one book that I picked up that I've heard about for a little bit now, and it's called Don't Move. And it's supposed to be just like this camp-ass book, just over-the-top shit. Like this church group goes on a retreat, and then they encounter a giant fucking spider that just destroys shit. And it sounds so goofy.
Sounds great.
It's supposed to be like one of those B-side horror movies. Mm-hmm. And I've known the names of the people who wrote it for a while, and I saw one of them's name was James Murray.
I don't know it.
You do. It's Murr from Impractical Jokers.
What?
He co-wrote that book. Yeah, and yeah, because whenever I would have never known that either, because I had it on Audible. I haven't got to it yet, but then I actually picked up the physical copy, open it, and it shows his fucking face, and I was like, maybe that's a different James Murray. But it even says in his little bio from Impractical Jokers, and I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah, that's wild.
And a guy that I've read two of his books now, Chuck Palahniuk or something weird like that. He wrote Fight Club.
Oh, that's cool.
And the two books that I've read from him that aren't Fight Club definitely don't seem like Fight Club.
Yeah.
So I know not every book he writes has to be identical.
Oh, I should read that book.
Yeah, I thought you'd like, because I
read the comic of Fight Club 2,
yeah.
And I was like,
yeah,
this did not need a sequel. Like, it just feels so convoluted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which Fight Club already is kind of convoluted, so.
Yeah, and it has a good ending. Like, it doesn't really need to happen. But, like, I never think of the movies that I like being books. Mm-hmm. Like, this one TikToker that I watch, he said one of his favorite books that he's ever read is Jurassic Park.
I didn't even know. I actually didn't know that was a book.
No. Like, I would never guess most of these movies that were books. Like, I just can't picture reading Jurassic Park. But, I don't know.
Me neither.
But I'm excited to in the future. But, yeah, we've pretty much accidentally covered how my week's been.
I guess that's good.
Yeah, went to the movies, saw 2 Fast and Furious movies yesterday.
We're through the bad ones. Yeah. We're now on...
I guess depending on what your standard is.
No, we're on to the good ones. We're on to Fast 5. We're going into The Rock.
We're into the Fast and Furious equivalent of the Godfather trilogy.
I don't know about that.
These next 4 movies is the Fast and Furious equivalent of the Godfather trilogy.
Sure, yeah. I'm excited for it.
I am too. I'm actually... surprisingly,
because now it's ridiculous, and now I'm like looking forward to it and everything.
So I'm not, we're not torturing ourselves, being like, oh man, I hope this one is better than the last one. Like, I want these to be stupid, goofy fucking movies.
Yeah,
I want to see them slide under semis every single fucking movie with a short car. I want to see these people survive accidents that they shouldn't, you know. But I don't know. I think it's weird rating a movie when you're excited like that, though. Because, it's a bad movie. But I cannot wait to see The Rock. Yeah. I really cannot wait to what his character brings to that series.
My rating system is how much do I want to rewatch it. That's pretty much all it is.
I don't rewatch movies, though.
I don't either, but I was going to say I don't, but I've been watching the shit out of some movies.
See,
like The Nice Guys?
Yeah.
I've already watched it 4 times.
I've only watched that twice.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. There's just... And I'm probably thinking about it in the wrong way. I'm acting like I only have 5 years left, and who knows? I might. You never know. But I'm... I don't... Even movies that I love, I don't really go back and rewatch because I'm like, oh, there's still so many movies I haven't seen. But, I mean, I probably have time to watch other movies too, you know, but
it just depends. I have to be in the mood to rewatch a movie.
Yeah. Now, that one dude we've talked about here on frequently, Cosmonaut, Variety Hour. Yeah. He has talked. I think he said he saw Infinity War 3 or 4 times in movies,
in theaters. I wanted to go back and rewatch Spider-Man in theaters.
That is the one that comes to mind for me. That is one that it's still playing.
The problem is I don't want to go alone to watch Spider-Man. Like, it's not my movie I watch alone.
I think I would.
I don't know. I don't like watching big action-packed, funny movies alone. Like, it's just not that criteria that I go for, at least.
Memento is a movie I might watch again. Not because it's like a knockout 10 out of 10. I mean, it's a really good movie, but there's a lot of things that happen that once you've watched it, you're kind of like, oh, well, I get that now. So maybe things will kind of hit different if I watch it again, knowing what I know.
Yeah, that's a great mystery movie. Like that premise that you just said. Yeah, I hate when a mystery movie is just they didn't show you, and then they tell you later.
They just didn't tell you stuff.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, the big reveal. You're like, I would have never gotten that.
Yeah,
because I couldn't have gotten that. Versus a good mystery movie is like, damn.
Yeah.
The whole time I should have known. To go full circle back into the mystery movies.
Yeah. Hey, we'll just restart the episode. Right. But I was actually wanting this to be a shorter episode because I am starving.
Okay. So we got one more thing?
Yeah, you kind of got me worked up with the whole Batman thing. Yeah. Well, what's your song of the week?
The Way You Move by Outkast.
I should have figured that.
I've listened to a lot of Outkast.
Yeah, you just told me that yesterday, so that should have been somewhat foreshadowed, but I didn't think The Way You Move would have been the one.
So, as of right now, the job that I'm in, I drive around a lot, and I don't really listen to music or anything while I drive.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't. Just the time period that I'm in, it's weird to explain. But I don't I don't have headphones in, I don't have a radio in the car or anything. So I
that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, so I just drive around and I sing to myself when I'm fucking bored. So
that would get boring.
It does.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it is a lot. Like, I'm thinking a lot and like.
Are you allowed to bring a radio?
Yes. It's weird. I'll explain. Okay. All fair because it's boring. But so like I kind of have to sing songs to myself and like not. Sometimes I just like I'll hum songs, but like that song has been hitting, and I'm like, yeah, that's it. Like,
okay,
The Way You Move has been my jam.
With the context, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I would say because I know you just said you listened to that album again, and I'm like, how's Roses not the? Because to me, Roses is arguably the best song that's ever been made.
Yeah, no, it's
I love
phenomenal, but this song's just been.
No, that's fair. I mean, that's probably the catchiest song on there.
Yeah. Driving down the road, just being like. You crazy bitch. You stupid bitch. You stupid ass bitch. Yeah, Roses starts to not be the song that I want to sing on the road.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it, though.
What's your song of the week?
Burn, Confessions, Part 2.
Oh, yeah. Good one.
It's so good.
We have 2 songs off that album. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I did a throwback with Jadakiss.
Oh, yeah.
Off that album.
Yeah. It's so good, though, man.
It is.
My God, that motherfucker can tell a story. I need to listen to more of him because I know he's good.
He's got like 3 solid fucking albums.
Charlemagne says he has the best discography. Not in his given genre, but the best discography.
I don't agree.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know his discography, though.
There's a couple albums I don't like of his.
Yeah, so. And that's pretty much all I need to know that I don't agree with that. You know, because, I mean, there's like, whenever you say something like that and there's more than a couple songs I don't like on an album, I'm like, this can't be true then.
Yeah.
You know, but, I mean, I don't think anybody has a perfect discography.
I don't know.
Michael Jackson?
Maybe.
Solid.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew this one. Hard to Love.
Oh, God.
I'm not.
Yeah, I don't like that shit. Yeah.
But I think that's all.
Yeah, I'm fucking starving, and I want this to be it.
That's been Jammin with Kron Rex. Peace.